One thing that becomes more evident to me each day as I advance through life is that there are certain things that a man cannot get away with. And you have to have an off day to recognize this. You have to have a series of good days, a pretty good streak. And, one day maybe you just don't get enough sleep or something like that. Um, and you have a mishap, right? We all make mistakes. And you come to understand that you are held to a higher standard as a man, just because you're a man, than women. And I don't want to throw women under the bus. Like I've done this before, and I'm not trying to do that. But I hate to believe that men and women are held to different standards, right? We hold children to a different standard. So are we also holding women? Are we putting men? I mean, are we putting women and children into a separate category from men? Where that they have certain things that they're allowed to get away with. Now, this isn't coming from a place of bitterness necessarily. I actually feel this is kind of a disservice to women. To you're disempowering women by allowing them to believe that they can't um, be held to the same standard, right? And here we are at the same time trying to give everybody equal rights. How are people going to have equal rights but not equal responsibilities? That's what I'm concerned with. You can't. If the responsibilities are not the same, then your rights are not going to be equal. That's just the way it works. You can try to bend it to your will. You can try to legislate it as much as you want, but that's not going to happen. See, here's the thing: if you take a certain section of society and you tell that section you're not going to be held to the same standard, to the same liability, what you're doing is you're putting them in a different category. Um, and you're essentially separating, um, by separating responsibility, you're separating rights. There's no way around that. It's like the whole separate but equal thing that was happening in the South, right? Back in the 60s or whenever, before that, right? Whenever. My history is a little rusty. How did that turn out? Not particularly well, right? I mean, you can't do that. You can't separate people and put them in different categories and also want equal rights. You got to stop and ask yourself, do you really want equal rights? If it means equal responsibilities, I mean, everybody's different. People, we try to fit people into molds, but we are unique. This isn't some kind of a bullshit thing that people say to feel better about themselves. Okay, we are unique, and we need to be unique to have something so that we can put our own stamp on the world. This isn't something that you tell, grade schoolers so that they can feel good. You're special. You're unique. You're not part of a system. You're not, just another robot. Um, to put on the production line. Everybody's different and everybody's unique, and that's not bullshit. You are as unique as you want to believe you are, and even if you don't want to believe it, you're not like anybody else. Okay, you're not. I mean, whether you want to be or not, you're just not. Um, I guess what I'm getting at is this whole equal rights movement. I understand, people's hearts are in the right place, wanting things like that, but you can't put people in a box. Okay, you can't say everybody, just get in this circle and you all want these exact rights and you all want all of them. Some people may not want, the rights and the obligations that come with them, because every right that we have is going to come with its own set of obligations. What we should be more focused on is giving people the liberty to decide what obligations they want to take on. We want to give people freedom, okay, by essentially subjugating people into, having equal rights. You are putting people in a box, and you are, telling everybody that they all have to follow a certain set of obligations, like I said, that are attached to those rights. This is how you indoctrinate people. This is how you control the population. The communists, they certainly they knew about equal rights, didn't they? They wanted things to be forcefully equal. They didn't just want people to have the capacity to have, everything equally. They wanted to actually say, hey, you're going to follow this system, and if you don't, then we're going to get rid of you. Just something to think about.